This is your warning, and not the kind that scares you, the kind that wakes you up. You are not watching this by accident. You didn't click this video randomly. This message has been circling you for days, maybe longer, because something rare just happened in the sky, and even rarer, it left something behind in you. Not everyone felt it. Not everyone noticed it. But if you've been feeling different lately, like time is bending, like emotions are sharper, like something invisible is hovering just behind the veil, you were chosen, and right now you're standing at the threshold of a window that's already beginning to close. The strawberry full moon has passed, yes, the light is fading, but the portal it opened, it's still echoing, still imprinting, still transferring something ancient and alive into the body of anyone sensitive enough to receive it. And here's what most people don't realize. The power of the full moon doesn't peak on the night you see it glowing. It builds before and it anchors after. The real work, the real magic, happens now. But here's the catch. What you do in the next few days determines whether this energy roots into your life or fades like a forgotten dream. This energy isn't going to knock twice. And if you go back to sleep, if you brush this off, you might miss the activation that was tailor-made for you. So before we go any further, pause. Take a breath. And if you already feel something stirring inside you, if something in your gut is saying, "This is about me," then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop the number 77 in the comments. Not for algorithm reasons, for energetic reasons. Numbers carry frequency. And by dropping 77, you're not just interacting with this message, you're marking your moment. You're saying to the universe, "I got the message. I'm not ignoring this. Now let's begin." Properly. The portal didn't close to stop you. It closed to seal something inside you. You see, cosmic portals don't shut like doors. They imprint. They leave marks, vibrational codes, emotional patterns, subtle memories in the body that don't feel like memories, more like echoes. Something sacred got stamped into your energy field under that moon. You felt it, didn't you? That strange mix of exhaustion and electricity. The sense that your thoughts were moving too fast, or that your dreams were trying to send you a message you couldn't quite remember. That wasn't fatigue, that was coding. In the hours following the full moon, your body entered what mystics have called the echo phase, a brief period where the celestial imprint still pulses through your nervous system. Your aura is reorganizing. Your intuition is recalibrating. Your timeline is shifting. But here's the important part. This echo isn't permanent. It's like water in cupped hands. It stays for a moment, then slips through your fingers if you don't act with intention. Now maybe you're wondering, why now? Why this moon? Why this moment? Because this strawberry full moon wasn't just beautiful, it was precise. Positioned in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, it didn't just shine light on what's ready to grow. It handpicked the seeds within you that have been dormant for too long. This wasn't about the kind of intention setting you do with crystals and candles. This was a cosmic extraction. The moon pulled something out of hiding in you, something soft, something ancient, something powerful, and then it sealed it inside, waiting for you to do the next part. This is why urgency matters. This is why you can't wait a week or a month. Rituals performed in this window are like fire on dry grass. They take instantly. The universe doesn't waste energy. And if it showed you this video today, if it brought you here while the echo is still pulsing, you were meant to participate, to witness, to respond. Because what's been placed in you, it's fragile, not weak, but volatile, like a new spark that hasn't caught flame yet. And the reason most people lose it isn't because they're not worthy. It's because they didn't notice, they didn't respond, they didn't act. They let it dissolve into routine, into scrolling, into silence. And the frequency faded. You've already felt the clues. Maybe you've been waking up at odd hours, craving strange foods, seeing colors that seem louder than usual, feeling more emotional, more nostalgic, more wired. Those aren't symptoms, they're signals. And the moment you respond to them consciously, everything shifts. You might be asking, but what if I've missed it? What if the portal's already closed for me? It hasn't. Not yet. That's why you're here. Because this is your moment to lock it in, to claim what was left behind before it disappears. And by the time we reach the final part of this video, I'll reveal something most people won't ever notice. The one secret activation the moon left in your body, not your mind. Something subtle, something tactile. And once you understand what it is, you'll know exactly what to do next. So don't click away, don't skip. The next part might not just be information, it might be the exact instruction your soul has been waiting for. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop the number 77 in the comments below to mark your moment. Because what we're about to uncover next isn't metaphor, it's physical, it's energetic, and it might change everything you thought you knew about what this moon was really doing to you. Number 1. You're not coming down, you're locking in. Let's begin where most people misunderstand the journey. Not at the peak of the full moon, but in the quiet after. You might have expected a crash, a sudden dip. That wave of cosmic energy came in strong, and now you assume it's fading, but that's the illusion. You're not coming down, you're locking in. What you're feeling now isn't a come down, it's a calibration. Think of your nervous system like a radio tower. The strawberry moon didn't just shine light, it broadcasted frequency. You were the receiver. That sudden clarity, that creative rush, the random knowing that struck you like lightning out of nowhere, that was the signal. And now your body, your mind, your very cells are adjusting to hold that signal at a sustainable level. That's why you feel strange. Maybe you're more tired than usual. Maybe you're waking up wired at 3 a.m. or crashing mid-afternoon for no reason. Maybe you can't decide if you're peaceful or anxious. You're not broken, you're not regressing, you're retuning, and your body is trying to catch up to what your soul already accepted during the full moon, that you're stepping into a higher version of yourself. A common question you might ask is, if this is spiritual progress, why do I feel off? Shouldn't I feel energized or empowered? The answer is layered. Just like a computer that restarts after an upgrade, your system needs to slow down to integrate the new programming. Imagine trying to run at full speed while downloading new software in the background. That's what your soul is doing right now. The exhaustion, the overstimulation, even the fog, it's not dysfunction, it's construction. This is where most people misstep. They force themselves to push through. They think, I should be doing more or worse. I must have missed the window. No, you're still inside it. But what this phase demands from you is not hustle, it's reverence. Stillness right now is not emptiness. Stillness is sacred integration. It's the spiritual equivalent of roots growing beneath the surface. You don't see the movement, but it's happening. Every time you rest right now, you're not being lazy. You're letting your cells crystallize the energetic codes they received during the portal. Every time you sit in silence, even if your thoughts wander, you're giving your body the chance to hear the echo of the moon's message without interruption. Here's a metaphor. Imagine you've just been handed a sacred letter, written in a language your conscious mind doesn't understand. You don't need to read it right away. You just need to hold it. Breathe with it. Sleep with it near you. Let it speak to your subtle senses. That's what the moon gave you, a spiritual document, encoded in light, stored in your energy field. And the only way to read it is to stop striving and start listening. You might ask, but isn't rest unproductive? What if I waste this energy by doing nothing? And here's the truth. Rest is a ritual when you do it with awareness. Sleep becomes spiritual when you understand that your dream body is continuing the work your waking mind can't yet comprehend. That moment when you shut the world out, light a candle, take a breath, and simply do nothing. That's when the downloads slip in. That's when your vibration locks into the new frequency. So no, you're not descending. You're anchoring. You're locking in the frequency that your future self is already aligned with. Don't rush. Don't chase. Don't confuse motion with momentum. This is the most sacred time to do less and become more. Because in the stillness after the storm, the real transformation begins. Number 2, the heat in your hands wasn't random. And speaking of stillness, have you noticed what's happening in your hands? Maybe it was subtle at first. A tingling in your fingertips, a strange warmth in your palms, an urge to reach for things without understanding why. You might have chalked it up to random energy, or maybe even ignored it altogether. But let's go deeper, because that heat in your hands wasn't just a symptom, it was a signal. During the full moon, especially one as spiritually charged as the strawberry moon, the energy doesn't just swirl around you, it finds a way to enter you. And the hands are always the first to receive it. Why? Because your hands are the interface between the invisible and the physical. They build, they bless, they comfort, they create. In ancient mysticism, hands weren't just extensions of the body, they were libraries. Carriers of memory, karma, skill, and soul codes passed across timelines. So when you felt that warmth, that pulse, that itch to write or rearrange or braid or build, it wasn't random. It was a form of spiritual instruction, a download too complex for words, so it arrived through movement. You were being guided to activate a dormant skill, a memory, or a mission. The moon didn't give you new power. It simply woke up the one that was already buried in your touch. You might ask, but why my hands? What can they possibly reveal? Think of them like dowsing rods. Your fingers instinctively reach toward what your spirit recognizes before your mind catches up. Have you been sketching absent-mindedly, rearranging your space, touching certain objects, or even your own body with unexpected reverence? That's your intuition speaking through physicality. Your hands are trying to guide your next step, sometimes literally. There's a reason artists often say, "My hands just moved on their own." Healers say they felt heat where the energy was blocked. Writers feel a pull toward the pen, even without knowing what they'll write. That's not random inspiration, that's activation. And yes, there's something else happening here, something most people miss. Because it's not just what your hands are doing, it's when and why they're doing it. After a moon like this, your body becomes an antenna. And the hands, they're the translators. Every time you touch something, it's a feedback loop. Information goes out, but something also comes in. This moon recoded your hands with spiritual sensitivity, and that means touching objects, people, or even air might feel different. A texture might trigger a memory. A surface might feel familiar in an eerie way. That's not just imagination. It's the nervous system remembering a language it once spoke fluently. So if you feel the urge to move, to write, to create, don't hesitate. That's not just creativity calling. That's a buried instruction manual rising to the surface, and the more you follow it, the more it reveals. But we're not done here, because there's still something in your hands you haven't noticed yet. And when we get to it, you'll understand why none of this was random. Number 3, your aura is still transmitting. People feel you before you speak. Now that your hands have started remembering, let's talk about something even more invisible, your presence. Because whether or not you've said a word, posted online, or entered a room with confidence, your aura has already done the talking. In the hours and days after a full moon, especially one as emotionally charged as this strawberry moon, your energy field doesn't just glow, it transmits. It moves ahead of you, like a scout walking into rooms before your body arrives. And what it carries isn't who you were yesterday, it's who you're in the process of becoming. That's why some people may be reacting to you in strange, unexpected ways. A shift in tone, a strange distance, an unusual closeness. People are sensing a new frequency, and not all of them are ready for it. You might wonder, why are people pulling away when I've done nothing different? Why are others suddenly more drawn to me? That's not about your behavior, it's about your energetic blueprint. The full moon didn't just cleanse you, it recalibrated your signal. And now you're radiating differently. You're vibrating at the frequency of your next chapter, not your past identity. Think of it like walking into a room with a song playing that only a few people can hear. Those who resonate with your new rhythm feel inexplicably attracted. They lean in. They feel seen, safe, curious. But those who no longer match your sound, they feel offbeat, confused, sometimes even threatened, without knowing why. This isn't your fault. This is your upgrade. Your aura is doing the heavy lifting. It's organizing your reality before you consciously choose anything. That's why this moment calls for discernment. Who energizes you now? Who drains you? Subtly, quietly, like a slow leak you only notice later. That's your spiritual filter working, not to isolate you, but to refine your environment. Your frequency is preparing the next phase of your path, and only certain people can walk with you through it. So don't chase, don't explain, don't beg for alignment, just observe. Because in this post-moon phase, the people still standing with you, they're not reacting to your past, they're responding to the echo of your becoming. Number 4, you're on moon time now, linear time is lying. And now, something even more disorienting, the way time has started to misbehave. If you felt like you're floating between hours, like some days race ahead while others drag like syrup, that's not your imagination. It's not poor sleep or too much screen time. You're on moon time now. The strawberry full moon didn't just stir emotions, it reset your inner clock. The rhythm you once used to measure your life, deadlines, calendars, should-have-beens, just got overwritten. You might be wondering, why does everything feel either painfully slow or wildly fast? Why do I keep missing appointments or suddenly arriving early without trying? This is what happens when the body starts syncing with cosmic rhythm. You're no longer operating on artificial urgency. You're being pulled into something deeper, soul timing. Imagine being a passenger on a train that doesn't run on seconds or minutes, but on alignment. Events don't happen when you schedule them. They happen when you're ready. Conversations unfold exactly when you've energetically prepared for them, not when the clock says 3 p.m. That's why pushing right now doesn't work. That's why rushing, forcing, or panicking only makes things feel more out of sync. The train doesn't speed up just because you're late. You're probably asking, but if I don't act fast, won't I miss my chance? No, you'll miss your chance if you act out of panic. The moon didn't place you on pause, it placed you on precision mode. Things are either aligning because you're ready, or they're pausing because you're not supposed to rush them yet. This is Ritual 4. Let go of artificial urgency. You're not late. You're not behind. You're in a waiting room between dimensions, and that silence is sacred. And yes, there's a reason you're feeling this suspended reality more intensely now. It has to do with that final transmission the moon delivered, the part nobody talks about. Not yet. Because that secret, the one still humming inside your nervous system, holds the answer to why time stopped bending to logic and started bending to energy. And when we reveal it, everything will start to click into place. Number 5. The strawberry craving was never about fruit. It was a soul retrieval. And speaking of time bending, let's talk about one of the strangest symptoms of this moon's energy, the craving. You might have thought it was just a moment of sweet tooth temptation, a sudden desire for strawberries, cherries, candy, pastries, something soft, red, comforting. But what if I told you it wasn't hunger at all? It was memory. Because the strawberry full moon doesn't just light up the sky, it reawakens buried flavors of the soul. This wasn't about taste, it was about recognition. The craving was a signal from your subconscious, echoing from somewhere older than your current self. That strange ache you couldn't quite name, that sudden rush of nostalgia over a song, a place you've never been, or the scent of something long forgotten. That wasn't longing, it was retrieval, a soul fragment circling back, a version of you, maybe from childhood, maybe from another lifetime, that's been waiting for the right frequency to return. You might be asking, but why strawberries? Why sweetness? Why now? Because sweetness is symbolic. It's what we chase when something inside us wants to feel whole again. The ancients called this moon the fruit moon because it represented ripeness, not just in crops, but in consciousness. Sweetness equals readiness. The return of lost joy, lost innocence, lost expression. So when you find yourself reaching for comfort, don't judge it, don't suppress it. Pay attention to what you're reaching for and why. Maybe it's a childhood book, a song that hits too hard, a color you suddenly feel obsessed with. These are not distractions. These are breadcrumbs from your spirit, guiding you back to something you left behind. You're probably wondering, but isn't going back a step backward? Shouldn't I be moving forward? No, not all forward motion is progress. Sometimes the leap you need is inward. This isn't regression, it's reconnection. You're not chasing old versions of yourself, you're welcoming them back into the present. And that's your ritual now, integration. Make space for the emotions that resurface. Don't rush to label them. Let the tears come, let the laughter come, let the memories come, especially the ones that don't make sense. Because behind that craving, that ache, that sudden sweetness in your chest, is a lost piece of you that finally found the path home. Number 6, if you feel like giving something away, do it. It's not yours anymore. And now that parts of your soul are finding their way back to you, something else will begin to feel obvious, what no longer belongs. This is the other side of soul retrieval, the space it needs. Because when something returns to you, something else must be released. That's why you might suddenly feel the urge to give something away, an object, an old idea, even a conversation you've been replaying in your head for weeks. It's not just clutter, it's congestion. The strawberry full moon stirred stagnant energy, especially in the areas of generosity and possession. And now, the current wants to move through you. It's like standing beside a river and realizing you're the one holding the dam in place. You might ask, but what if I need it later? What if I regret letting it go? That's the old fear talking, the one that hoards instead of trusts. The truth is, if it feels heavy now, it's because it was never meant to be carried this far. That dress you never wear, the journal full of old pain, the identity you've outgrown but keep performing for others, it's all asking to be released. Not because it's worthless, but because its story with you is complete. Think of it like passing a torch. When someone gives you something out of nowhere, an old book, an heirloom, even their time or presence, it often carries something deeper than what's visible. It's an energetic exchange, not just a gift. And when you feel that urge to offer something to someone else, whether big or small, it's not always about kindness. It's about energetic circulation. This moon awakened generosity not as an act of charity, but as a form of realignment. You're not giving something up, you're making space. You're not losing, you're lightening. Because what's on its way to you next? It can't arrive in a crowded room. You may notice people, roles, and even dreams you once fought for beginning to feel distant, like costumes that don't fit anymore. That's your spirit unbinding itself. The ritual here isn't about spring cleaning, it's about soul space. When you release what no longer fits, you create the exact vacuum that pulls in what's meant to find you next. Let it go, not in fear, but in trust, because everything you give from this frequency returns in form you can't yet imagine. Number 7, déjà vu was a signal, now comes the sync. As you begin to release what no longer belongs, you may notice something strange happening around you. Repetition, echoes, moments that feel like they've already happened. That's not just déjà vu, that's alignment trying to speak to you. During the full moon, if you experienced flashes of familiarity, repeating numbers, overlapping memories, or that strange feeling of "I've lived this before," it wasn't nostalgia, it was recalibration. The moon wasn't reminding you of your past, it was syncing you with your path. Like celestial breadcrumbs dropped across timelines, those moments were markers, pinpoints your soul placed long ago to wake you up when the time was right. And now, it's right. You might ask, why does something I forgot weeks ago suddenly matter now? Why are conversations, dreams, even people circling back? Because the portal cracked open not just energy, but timelines. And some of those strange, fragmented feelings you had recently were glimpses of what's about to become real. What was once symbolic is about to become literal. Imagine puzzle pieces scattered across time, and now they're clicking into place. A phrase from a dream, a stranger's voice, a past decision you questioned. It's all coming together in a way your conscious mind couldn't predict, but your intuition already prepared for. Don't dismiss the details. That moment that feels small may be the signal you were sent here to receive. Because when the signs converge, they won't just make sense, they'll point directly to your next door. And you'll remember, you were always meant to open it. Number 8, there's something in your hands you haven't noticed yet, and it changes everything. And now, we return to where all of this began. The strange feeling in your hands, the warmth, the fidgeting, the need to touch, to rearrange, to write, to press. You might have dismissed it, called it restlessness. But it wasn't restlessness, it was awakening. This is the part we've been hinting at. The piece most people will miss if they're not listening closely, not just to the video, but to themselves. During the full moon, your body didn't just receive light, it received code, not in the form of a thought, not in the form of a dream, but through movement, specifically through your hands. The very instruments you use to build, heal, express, and create. But this wasn't random, this was ancient design. Your soul remembers languages your mind has forgotten, rituals your lineage practiced before history could record them. And those memories are stored not just in the brain, but in the muscle, in the palm, in the fingertips. That's why you keep drawing spirals in the margins, why you're suddenly obsessed with certain textures, why you keep clasping your hands or tapping your fingers in certain rhythms. These aren't nervous tics, these are activation sequences. You might ask, but how could something so small mean something so big? Because that's how energy works. The universe doesn't always scream, it whispers in repetition. And your hands are now transmitters, sending signals to your body, your field, and your future, through gestures you're not even aware you're making. Imagine a tuning fork. When struck, it hums at a frequency that affects everything around it. That's what your hands have become. Activated by the strawberry moon, they now hold a vibration that's quietly shifting your environment. That's why certain objects feel different when you touch them. That's why your body relaxes when your fingers press into your chest. That's why you feel calmer after physically writing something down. It's not symbolic, it's somatic. You might be asking, what do I do with this? How do I use it? The truth is, you don't need to use it like a tool. You just need to listen. When your hands move toward something, honor it. When you feel like painting, sculpting, drawing, typing, even just touching leaves or hair or water, follow it. That impulse is your body's wisdom speaking before the mind can interfere. It is the most ancient form of divination. This is your final ritual. Pay attention to what your hands want to do, not out of boredom, but out of intuition. Because the most powerful rituals don't start with knowledge, they start with touch. The touch that says, this is real, this is now, this is sacred. And the more you listen, the clearer the language becomes, not in words, but in motion. Because that's what the moon left in you, not a thought, not a rule, but a movement that can only be remembered through your fingertips, and that changes everything. So as we reach the end of this journey, remember, this wasn't just information, it was a transmission. The strawberry moon didn't come to impress you, it came to activate you. What you felt wasn't random. What you're becoming isn't temporary, it's real, it's unfolding, and it's yours to claim. If this spoke to something deep inside you, like subscribe and comment the number 77 below to anchor this energy. Let the universe know you received the message. Let others find it too. You weren't shown this by accident. You were chosen to remember. Now show that you do. The next phase begins now.